We had a lot of volunteers that came forward and said, I want to help out. However, so through the process with Washington State Emergency Management Division is that they have a fund and they have a liability insurance that they carry for volunteers. So what that does is that allows someone who comes out and is going to be a ham radio operator, for example, they're going to dedicate their time while they won't take on the personal insurance for them to do it. They're going, and the county is not going to take on the insurance if something was to happen. They have a designated to where if something happens through the emergency worker program that we have gone through a background check, we've made sure we vetted this person that they fall under that emergency worker program. So when the insurance piece of it, really what that states is that if you have an active volunteer group already, that if they don't go under that emergency worker program, then they would fall under your county and your city insurance like they probably already are. But I don't believe that you guys have, that I'm aware of, that you have an active volunteer, civilian volunteer besides fire department.
Right.
Besides that.
And I have to be terrible at this point in time, but our meeting starts at 7 o'clock.
Nope, I'm here. Yeah.
And I appreciate everything, and hopefully you can come back if we need you to explain more to the council or whatever, but at this point in time, our regular meeting starts at
Not a
7.
problem.
I'm getting tapped over here.
Nope.
I have to move on. So, yes.
It's on your agenda.
Yes.
Do more discussion.
We can do more discussion. She's gonna be here.
I'll be here.
Thank you, Nick. Wasn't an emergency, but we had to get it figured out. Okay, let's stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have Mayor Springer and Councilmember Nguyen joining us. They're both muted right now. But if they need to jump in, they can absolutely do so, or I can unmute you from my end.
Okay, call this meeting to order on December 18th of 2024 at 7 o'clock. Clerk Barr, how many citizens are joining online tonight?
We have 10 participants online.
At this time, will you please take roll call?
I will. Councilmember Skinner,
Here.
Councilmember Nguyen,
Here.
Councilmember Spargo,
Here.
Councilmember Collette,
Here.
Councilmember Darcy. Here. All here and accounted for.
Now, again, we've been without internet and phones most of the day at City Hall. And so this is 2 weeks ago's agenda. So it might be kind of like the Twilight Zone, it might be moving forward and back, but we're going to try to move forward with items on our regular agenda. So at this point in time now, approval of the agenda, tonight's agenda. Can I get a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Hearing none, motion carries. Next one is consent agenda. Can I get a motion to carry to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote aye. If you approve.
Aye.
Nay, hearing none, carries. Council comments at this time. Start at the opposite end of the room. Councilman Darcy, I'll get it right somewhere along the line.
Nothing at this.
Nothing at this time. Councilman Collette,
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Spargo,
Nothing at this time.
and nothing from me at this time.
When?
Councilman Nguyen, how about you?
Nothing from me.
All right. We'll move on to committee reports, auditing. Is anybody, I did not get down and do any auditing of vouchers. And we haven't. We will get on that before the end of the month. There we go. Finance. We have not had a finance committee meeting at this time. Parks.
We had a parks meeting earlier this month. Everything went well. We just talked about clearing drains. We were working on clearing some beaver dams that are down by, Lions Park. And, also the upgrades at Mill Creek. The, tennis court is finished. Some striping has been done for parking. Some fencing will be replaced and bathrooms will be worked on, soon. That's all I have.
And public safety, I will make an apology to the crowd. We had a public safety meeting Monday night and neither one of us council members remembered to attend.
I couldn't
So,
make it, I was on overtime.
yeah,
Like tonight.
yeah, so, we need to catch up. We do have items in the agenda that will pertain to public safety and we'll move forward for them. Any public works committee meeting or, items?
We did have a meeting, early, was it this week?
Yeah.
Last week, yeah, sorry. Yeah, and we just went over, there wasn't a whole lot going there, we just kind of went over the winter stuff, going through and, yeah, so, moving forward, I think the public works will be the interim meeting later in the meeting.
Thank you. Okay, number 7, city officials report. Clerk treasurer.
Sure, we're wrapping up our audit and I am grateful for that. It's been going on since September. We should have our exit meeting on Friday of this week. At our council meeting of next month, I will be giving a report out on that.
Chief Lehman, do you have a report for us?
A few items. The first one's a little awkward with Hannah and Nick in here because they're definitely more versed in this content, but provided by them. Had 3.52 inches of rain yesterday. It added up to some problems locally, but flood watch starts tonight at 10 o'clock for all of Grace Harbor. And as you noticed, it was a little windy, 79-mile-per-hour winds clocked at Bowerman Field overnight. I hit 53 at my house. 53
Yeah, I don't
down.
know.
At least at one house.
Yeah.
So just continue to, I'm not public works, but if you see a drain in front of your house covered in leaves, just go clear that sucker out and help everybody else out. A couple of the volunteers and myself from the fire department were doing that last night, including the gutters in our own building that were ready to bend off the roof because of the wind changing direction of the leaves on the buildings. Background psychological polygraph finished this week for a lateral reserve police officer for us. I'm hoping to bring him on first of the year. He's not a full-time employee. He is a reserve. With that though, I will also say that Jeff Seaman, who's been a reserve for us for over a decade, worked his last shift with us on Saturday by coming in and doing one last time of what we call Operation Santa Cop, which is, like I said, something we've done for a little over 10 years now. It was kind of born of Jeff's heart for seeing a problem in the community where a family didn't have any Christmas, and we had just taken the father in the scenario to jail for some serious assaults. And we got one more chance to do that this year with him, but that was a cooperation with our school, lots of community members, business owners at Northwest Collision, the volunteer fire department guys, and all of it led by our part-time police clerk, Casey Grove, that dressed up like an elf to make it happen. It was a pretty awesome event. We also did Shop with Cop last Saturday, this one before. And we were able to go down and thank you to Lions Club for inviting us to be part of their Claws and Cocoa, where we were able to go down and have at least one officer on duty down there participating. And we're grateful for the invitation to interact with our community. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Fire Chief Bailey, report from you.
Yeah, I have a few things tonight. I did want to bring one of our members tonight, but he's still out chasing down trees across the county, unfortunately. But at the end of this month, Shane Bridges will be retiring with the Los Fire Department. After 25 years of service, he'll be receiving his full retirement from the state of Washington for his pension there. So did want to acknowledge him. He only has a couple more weeks. We've really enjoyed having him. The past few years I've gone to work with him, we really enjoyed it. So we wish him the best in his retirement. This past weekend, we had another member pass his EMC exam. He actually paid his own way through EMC school down in Arizona. So he should be on a flight back any day now to get plugged back in. So he flew down there and did a program. We're excited to have him come back. We have one other currently in the fire academy, not sponsored by the department, paid for on his own dime right now. So he's doing well in there. I'm hearing good things from his instructors. In January, we'll have 3 starting EMT school in Aberdeen through the department. That is completely covered by our interlocal agreement with the EMS office. And then we'll have 4 starting the fire academy paid for by the state of Washington for their recruit academy. So making forward with personnel as far as that goes. I did want to thank Councilmember Wynn and Michelle for the tree lighting ceremony and Justin, who may or may not have been there. But no, it was a great ceremony 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Lighting the tree, great base full of people, a lot more people than I anticipated, and a lot of food. It was really a great event. And thanks to the police department for inviting us along with Banner, Operation Santa Cop and the Lions Club. We were able to send some guys. Pending any questions, I think that's under my report.
Building inspector, Bill Fedor.
As I indicated a couple weeks ago at the last meeting, I'm continuing to work on the miscellaneous fee schedule. I think I'm probably 95 to 99% done with that. I was hoping to print out a copy for you guys to look at tonight and review until next year. But unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. So hopefully next month at our council meeting, I'll have, if not before that, I'll have a printout of the fee schedule you guys can look at and come back. We'll probably have a workshop sometime and we can discuss them. And I can get your input and give you my input, and then we'll move on from there. And that's about it. As far as building goes, it's really slowed down. It's this time of the year, it always does.
Thank you, Bill. And the mayor's report. Oh, that's right. She's not here.
Well, she is.
She is. She's online, but I don't think we will bother her with a report at this point in time. She gave me a couple of items. The City Hall will be closed the 24th and the 25th. Thank the people who contributed to the food boxes in the City Hall in there, and they can still do that up through Friday before we will be turning those in. Thanks to all the volunteers, all of Betty that's volunteered through. I think this is probably for the whole year, not just here in this last month. But those people that stepped up when the city needed help, as this year has went on, we've all seen that we've needed a lot of help at times. And we've had people come out and say, I can mow, I can do this, I can clean this, I can fix that. And at a time of need, our community stepped up. I gotta say, I agree with the mayor in that. I was gonna do it in my own council report that from where we came from, January 1, 2024 to where we're at now, these people worked together. The mayor worked hard, our clerk, people in the office, and tremendously our staff and volunteers stepped up. And it was a trying time. We all know that. And yet we've moved through. Are we on solid, hard rock, granite ground? No, but we're a lot better off than we were 12 months ago. And we'll move forward from here. And again, thank you. And on behalf of the mayor, thank you. Santa on Dundee. Santa's gonna be again up on the hill at the park or right adjacent to the park up there. I think one of the households up there that you can see from the satellites. Santa might be showing up at that house. And so you got some children, you want to get out and get and look at some of lights. You see the one down on I Street, I think it is the first. And then up to the hill and you'll see some more amazing lights and big chance of seeing Santa. And, Lions Club, I see she's got another deal here, but I think that already happened. The, tree lighting and Santa at the, these notes were hard. She's still not feeling real well, but, wanted to thank everybody for the tree lighting here and at Lions Club the other night that they had this function there. So those are the deals from Linda. And so that we can move on, I will go on to new business discussion. And the first one is a presentation by, again, Bill Sedor on ordinance 1392, which amends our building code 14-05-005 from the 2012 International Building Codes to the adoption of the current International Building Code, which is the 2021. And this will require action.
So, I don't know why the website still shows 2012. We've gone through 2015, 2018, and 2021. Well, right now we're on 2021. It should have been adopted months ago. Code kind of set things back. We're a few years behind instead of just 1 year behind. So here it is, 2024. We're just adopting the 2021 code, which is required. When the state adopts it, makes their amendments, then all the cities are required to adopt it. The ICC codes, the building codes that I function under, as far as how everyone has to do their building and all that stuff. You'll see some of the ones that are crossed out, appendices. The appendices are in there. You can adopt them or you don't have to adopt them. They're just mentioned. You can if you want to. I go through and I look at the appendices and determine whether we want to function under them or not. And then I take in the ones that I think we should be using. So if you have any questions, there are, especially underneath the building code and the residential code, there are numerous new appendices. And you'll see them marked as A, B, and AC, and they've a lot of changes.
Is everybody finding what he's referring to on your paper? Okay. Any questions?
So these are 2021, is there expected another one to be?
They're already working on it.
Yeah.
In a couple more years, we'll be adopting the 2024 codes.
Oh.
They're already working on the 2027 codes.
Okay,
There are,
but this will at least get us caught up.
I was gonna say, when they were looking at it was the 2021 or the 2024, there were already 1,700 changes proposed. So, yeah, so you can see, it's why I go to training every year, because there's constant changes made to the codes all the time. And to be able to keep up with them, the code books are, real skinny, small stuff. Like 500 pages or 1,000.
Does this take a simple majority motion or is this a roll call vote?
We won't be voting on it at this point. This is the.
You did this to me
discussion
2
point.
weeks ago.
I'm trying to keep you honest.
I don't want to be Stan?
Ready?
Gonna keep you honest.
Period.
Okay, we'll move on to any more questions for Bill at this point in time. A presentation by the Safety Committee Council for the Grays Harbor County EMS interlocal agreement. And again, this one will require action, but not at this time.
That's Hannah's.
That's Hannah. Okay, so anybody have any questions for Hannah?
Actually, I've got the amount that the city would have to pay. Is that fixed amount or is that break?
So every year it'll be a change. So every year we will take, how we've done it is we've taken the assessed value from the 2020 3 levy book to collect in 2024. So, that's how we got this data, because those are concrete, those are the ones that have already been collected. We know those numbers. Same thing with why we kind of took the budget in the back end, so the 2024 budget, because that's been approved. We know those numbers. So we felt that it was probably the best to have concrete numbers to go off of than be standing here going, oh, I think we're gonna have the budget approved and this is what it's gonna look like. So we have the concrete numbers using the levy, the road levy that's collected. And so next year it'll be the 2024 to be collected in 2025, and then the population based on 2024. So we're kind of always in the rears, but there is a potential that it could go up based on assessed value of population, and there's a potential it could go down based on assessed value of population.
So very,
It's very, yeah,
all right, well, thank you.
you're very welcome.
And you'll be back next December to chat about this all again and talk numbers where, this is just a 1-year kind of agreement we're signing on with you guys.
Yeah, so the language in the contract, is it's a 180-day termination. And what that does is it kind of gives us the opportunity to make sure that you guys are set up for success if you don't choose to join into the interlocal agreement, for the following year. What the plan is let's just say hypothetically play it out that you guys did vote for it today. The next steps would be then to sit down with, probably the mayor and anyone else that would be willing and to sit with us at emergency management and kind of talk about what your priorities are for the city. Work on getting that comprehensive emergency management plan annex completed, and really kind of working on what you guys view as for emergency management and emergency preparedness for the city. What are your priorities for that, so that we can help fulfill that? I will mention real quickly if I can, Councilwoman Darcy, you mentioned about that kind of long list of what we're asking from the city.
Right.
And why that is because I am not taking your, you guys are not going to give, if this works out, the authority to enter into any contracts on behalf of the city. You guys still maintain all of your statutory requirements. We are just a contracted service to help you provide for that. So that's why you still have your autonomy. The county is not taking any of that from you. So really, it's just us identifying that you have a person that we can work with when it comes to the planning aspects and working on, future projects.
Right. Yeah, that was the missing part that
Yeah.
since we don't have this plan of who's gonna do it or any of that kind of stuff, we don't know if there's gonna be more cost to the city because of whoever these people are who are on payroll, or if it's volunteers. So that was the part that we didn't like, not knowing what that is.
Right. And
Missing the part.
when the language of it where it says the director of it's just
Right.
because you still have that statutory requirement. We still are asking for that person, whether you name them a director or they have already have a title on it,
Right.
is really up for you guys.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Number 4. This is by me, Councilman Skinner. We're at 3. I thought I just signed off on 3. No, I didn't sign off on, not yet. Presentation by the Safety Committee Council for the 2025 Aberdeen Emergency Medical Services Interlocal Agreement. And I'm gonna ask Nick to help me out on this, okay?
Yeah, so this is that EMS agreement that we have with the city of Aberdeen, providing our basic life support, advanced life support, and our transport services. It's an annual agreement. We sign it every December. You guys did just approve an amendment back in October that significantly reduced the amount that we're giving to the city of Aberdeen. So this still reflects that amendment that you guys approved back in October. And this is the budgeted amount that we in your EMS line item for 2025 for the city of Aberdeen. So what you're thinking?
Yeah, thank you. That was just word for word. I had it right here, but I just wanted to see if you remembered. Thank you. Yes, yes. Any questions?
I guess I don't fully understand. So this is our normal agreement we have yearly, but the EMS fund that some of us voted on, like you said, it was in October? Or is the EMS fund related to the EMS interlocal agreement?
So the EMS fund is simply what you're paying for the EMS interlocal agreement. So it's not coming out of the general budget. And those were separate, actions by council. So approving amendments to this agreement, and establishing a fund were separate actions.
Gotcha.
So how is it gonna affect, what the citizens are paying?
Nothing, it's already budgeted. There's no rate increase for 25.
So what got increased is the amount of money that is going to be going into the EMS fund.
No, that,
Well, yeah, because it went from 2550 to 2729, so that means you're getting, the fire department is getting an increase of $1.79.
no, so the 2024 budget, for the 27, sorry, I don't have the number.
It was 20
27, 29.
50 in 2024 is what it was, and that's what got approved. And then, so now it is gonna be 2729 is the new number. So that means that's an increase to the EMS fund.
So 2729 was the 2024 number. In October, we had it reduced down to that 25 to start creating a local EMS fund, as we discussed during that meeting. What that looks like in reality is $8,000 staying locally for the city to be used for EMS expenses, buying our gloves, our medications, those things. So those aren't coming out of the general budget to take away from what the police department has going on, all that. And I'm gonna have to run out here in a second, but, we have a call going that, what's it going with that? As far as the cost to the citizens, we're not adjusting that. That was set, and I believe it was 23/4/24, and we're not calling for a rate increase to the citizens for 25. The budget's already been set at this level.
All right, if you have run, we understand.
Yeah. Did you have another question there?
We can tackle it another time, right? The calls first. I understand the calls is much more important.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for everything you do.
My understanding is that we've already taken action on those items as far as the monies and the setup of the new EMS fund. And that this is just to sign the agreement with Aberdeen to initiate it, to make it happen. They've agreed on their side, their council has, with these numbers. We agreed to it last month or the month previous to that. And so after the two parties met, then the agreement was signed by them and now it has to be approved by us.
Yes, I believe it was one of the October meetings.
I believe so, Mark. I believe so, yes. So the financial issue of this has already been decided. Now,
At the lower rate, but.
Yes.
Right. So when we do vote on this tonight, it is just to enter into that agreement.
Continue.
Okay, next, if there's no other, oh, no, can't be any more questions for Nick. Number 4 has my name on it, and I presentation by Councilmember Skinner for collective bargaining agreement for the police department and have ability in the future to change to a medical insurance for all city staff. This will require action. So we separated it out. We were looking at the proposal of all city staff and police department entering into this new insurance group. At this point in time, we're just trying to get it done for the police department itself. And if we can negotiate and come up with an agreement amongst the council, then we will also move this insurance plan to the rest of the city staff. We have that ability.
It's, if I may.
Yes.
So what it is we have a labor contract from 2019 for the police department. It expired 12/31/23, but continues because after leading up to that expiration and since then, we've continued in good faith trying to negotiate a labor contract. Obviously, we weren't in a good place for negotiations for the staff of the police department because we're laying people off and the union is very aware of that. What we're asking is to continue the 2023 contract for 1 year, 0 increases, so everything stays fixed at 2023 rates. And this is the benefit to the city, is it leaves the door open for us to qualify to move the whole city to, should that be the choice that is made, to the Nelson insurance plan that could cost, or not cost, but save upwards of $40,000 per year for us to switch to it. That option is not available to us unless we continue this labor contract, because the insurance that would be possibly the one we could switch to is through the union. There's 0 increases to the contract, and the language of what you would be authorizing the mayor to sign is very specific to that. It's been approved by the union, it's been approved by their city attorney, and it's endorsed by the Public Safety Committee and by the mayor. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have some beyond that, but this is just leaving the door open for us to potentially switch insurances and save a significant amount of money, should that be the choice that's made. If we don't, that insurance is not available.
What do you know about the insurance? Is it something you'd want to switch to?
Yeah, if I could have the absolute best insurance plan with 0 copay, I would want that, but
It's not gonna
it's not
hurt you.
realistic to this day and age for us. I'm not saying we 100% should switch to this insurance. But I do think that this buys us the time to invite, which we've already done and trying to get scheduled, the different representatives for the insurance companies to come in, speak to the employees, answer their questions, and look at actual numbers and actual services offered instead of knee-jerk containing answer. To just make an intelligent, articulated decision based on the totality of everything. And that's what I'm hoping we can do. And this gives us the time to be able to slow down, look at those plans, listen to what the employees and what the numbers say to make an educated decision on what the best thing to do is for the city. Nobody is switching insurance plans based upon this decision at all tonight. This is just extending a labor contract, no new changes to it, just to leave a door open for us to have this conversation and have that option should it be chosen to go with.
Perfect, thank you. I see this as a door opening opportunity.
If we don't do it, then that door is not open.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I see this as a door opening opportunity. And it comes as with no cost really to the city. There's
No,
yeah.
it continues the exact same expense for officers to work as it was before. It's the exact same labor contract that was agreed to back in, like I said, 2019.
That's what I meant with no additional.
Yeah, there's no raises other than what was given in 2019. It stays at the same rate.
But the insurance affects all of the city.
Yeah, the insurance, the union has said, if you guys want to do this, we'll make it available to all citywide employees. But that's the question that needs to be answered by sitting down and talking to the insurance agents, I'm assuming is what they're called, or representatives to actually look at the hard numbers and let people be heard so they don't think that they're, for lack of a better word, getting screwed over with switching things.
Well, yeah, and it would be good to have other insurance companies come in and.
Correct, but there's not very many that
Well,
are
no,
available to
right.
our cities, but absolutely, I agree with you, Sue. I would love to see the best option on the table.
Are
And
there any other cities in Grays Harbor that are using this Nelson plan?
yeah, there is others using it, and there's also a lot of big organizations that use it. Everybody that's represented, I believe, that's represented by the IAM district this is what the insurance they offer. So, and if my understanding is correct, it's even available to employees after they retire, which could be a very attractive thing. Should it be something that's chosen to go? I don't know the details of that, which is something I would be very interested in hearing about myself
Yeah,
as we get closer to those ages of retirement. Do you have any questions for me that I can try to answer?
Well, having read through it and then after you and I talked yesterday and everything, sounds good to me.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, chief. Anything else? We'll move on then to number 5. Again, this is by me on a resolution 24-4, supporting the Chehalis River Basin wide solution to flooding and aquatic species restoration. And it will require action. And what they're doing is asking all of the cities, all of the entities in the Chehalis River Basin to support the idea of the flow through dam that was presented to us at the last meeting, or 2 meetings ago. Yeah, anyway, that idea of on the upper Chehalis Basin of putting that in, they get so much more through the legislature when everyone is in agreement in the district with them and under the authorities blanket. And so to go out and get all of the towns to buy in and say, yes, we believe this is a good idea, whether it happens in 2 years or 10 years or 15 years, we all know what it's gonna take to try to build a dam. It's not gonna get it done tomorrow, that's for sure. But the presentation that they showed me made me believe it was a viable solution to part of our flooding problems in the Chehalis River. And at this point in time, we concern ourselves with money. They ain't asking for a penny. All they're asking for is our support in this resolution to accept or to vote for joining in on the resolution to have that dam as a option out there. I think that's all of those. Number 10 on the items is public comment. And again, it's limited to subjects on the agenda and try to keep them short, but it's all yours, folks. Don't both of you speak at once. Just tough to get the audience to participate. Wasn't months ago.
Turn on the microphone.
Yeah, it wasn't months ago. So we'll move on to new business. This is council action. A vote will be called for ordinance 1392, adopting the current international building code. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to pass the ordinance 1392 adopting of the current international building code.
You know that's doing that?
So sorry.
It's okay. Second,
Yes, Councilmember Darcy will second that.
any discussion? Hearing none, vote yay to approve.
Yay.
Yay.
Nay. Is that a nay or
That
a
was,
yay?
was that a yay or a nay, Councilmember Nguyen?
That was a yay from Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, we voted. It's done. That one passed. This is just too easy.
There you go, Bill.
Number 2, vote will be called for the adoption of the Grays Harbor County EMS interlocal agreement. Do I have a motion? I make motion that we enter into the agreement with the Aberdeen Emergency Medical Services interlocal agreement.
This is Grays Harbor.
Grays Harbor.
Grays Harbor.
Grays Harbor.
This is Hannah's.
This is Hannah's, Grays Harbor EMS interlocal agreement.
I second. Councilman Spargo seconds.
Any discussion?
I do have one last thing. I know funds are something we talk about. Funds are something we look at. Funds are something we're always trying to think about within the last 10 months of being in CAUSE and a part of council. Being that it is one lump sum and with all of the natural disasters we've had across the whole country, and with our general fund looking in a more positive light as the year comes to an end, I feel this is beneficial. That's all I have to really say about it.
Any other discussion? Do we need a roll call vote on this
We
one?
don't
No,
need it.
we don't need to. Okay, all right. All those in favor of accepting the Grays Harbor County EMS interlocal agreement, vote by the sign of yay.
Yay.
Yay,
All
yay with the Y.
Opposed? Hearing none, so passed. Number 3, adoption of the 2025 Aberdeen Emergency Medical Services Interlocal Agreement.
I move that we go ahead and approve the Aberdeen Emergency Medical Services Interlocal Agreement.
Councilman Spargo seconds.
Any discussion?
You have something else to bring up on that. And since Nick isn't here, this might be for you, Carrie. It sounds like this is a locked number. The budget's already set for us. That EMS fund is what was created in the past that plays with the numbers. I've just been really looking at the utility bill and I don't want that utility bill to go any higher. You know, I know it's hard for me. I can't imagine for a fixed income. So this is not gonna increase
Nope.
our monthly utility bill.
It will be exactly the same as what it is now for the EMS service charge that's on there.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Do you need a motion? Second? You
We've got a motion.
We got the motion.
I seconded my name too.
Motion and seconded.
I moved and he seconded.
All those in favor signify by the sign of yay.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, it has passed. Vote will be called for the adoption of the police extension of the current collective bargaining agreement.
I move that we approve the adoption of the police extension of the current collective bargaining agreement.
Councilman Spargo seconds.
Any discussion? Only thing I do hope we don't let this die and that we do keep it on the table and really look into what it is. We talk constantly about savings. If this number's around $40,000 in savings for us to switch to this, I understand as being years and years of a working man that it got tougher and tougher to pay for insurance. But I also feel that we have to do something. And if this is the move we have to make, there's got to be some better plan out there that will help us. And this is one of the options. So hearing any other discussion? Hearing none, we will now vote on this adoption of the police extension of the current collective bargaining agreement. All those in favor signify by yay.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passed, or adoption passed, resolution passed, whatever it is, it's passed. And then finally is the vote for the adoption of the resolution 2024-4 Chehalis River Basin wide solution to flooding and aquatic species restoration. Do I have a motion?
Councilmember Darcy, motions for adoption of the resolution.
Councilmember Colette seconds.
Any discussion?
There's no cancellation, there's no walk away, there's no slap on our wrist when we want to separate from these guys.
No,
No.
no.
And have you taken over for Frank in that position with
no,
them?
I am still shadowing Frank at this point in time.
That's all I had.
Okay, okay. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of adopting this resolution signify by yay. Thank you. No, that's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Yay.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, adoption of the resolution has been passed. Hey, we are back at the time for you, public, to have your comments again. Well, you've been holding, all right, all right.
Michelle Fogan, 23-1 Alder, and I just want to thank on behalf of Council Member Wynn and myself, the entire volunteer fire department that stepped up for the tree lighting. We went in honestly with very little bit of a plan for the last minute event. And they just jumped to and got everything set up and made it all work. So really grateful, and we're grateful for council members who attended.
Okay, I guess we can move on now to council members. And again, I'll start at the opposite end of the room. Councilmember Darcy, any comments?
Nothing tonight.
Councilman Colette,
No comments.
it's the end of the year. Councilman Spargo.
I got a couple things. First off, I just want to thank everybody in Cosmopolis. I know the turnout for the last several meetings have been a little bit less. Everyone online, thank you for attending these. Thank you for citizens that have given me the positive feedback, negative, that have criticized me up and given me everything in between. It has been a blessing to serve Kazi over the last year as a councilman. I also want to follow up and thank, our secretary Casey, the police secretary Casey, for doing the Secret Santa Cop. That looked very fun and exciting, and it's always a lot to set up an event. As Michelle said, it's a lot to do. The tree lighting was amazing. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Councilman Wynn. Thank you, the volunteer firemen and everyone else that attend. Those were the best peanut butter cookies that I've ever had in my life. Once again, we have Christmas coming up. Santa Claus will be in Cosmopolis on Saturday. It will start around 2:00, and he will be live on the internet, so you can follow along on his journey if you happen to not be in town or want to be out in the possible rain. So once again, I will just want to follow up and end this with a thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years. To you, Councilman Skinner.
I guess I'm the same along with Councilman Spargo. It's been quite a year. And again, what I said earlier, it's taken a lot of people to get us to this point. And I understand there's not near as many people in the audience. And over the course of years, I would come to council meetings and wonder, where are the people? Where are they? Well, they were at that point, must be satisfied with their city government because they weren't showing up to be concerned or put their 2 cents in. At the first of the year, we had plenty of those. We had plenty of those, and we all walked into a total unbelievable situation. None of us would, I think, would have probably put our name on a ballot if we ever thought that we were gonna walk into what we'd seen or what was going on. But with a lot of help, with a lot of patience, with a lot of negotiating and trying, we've got to the point where instead of red, we're black. It's real thin, but it is there, and those are steps forwards. We concern ourselves with what was the past, we work towards the future, and we learn from what was going on before and try to do better. It's still not gonna be easy. We still got a lot of hurdles, a lot of things in front of us. We've got water problems, sewer problems, we got lots out there. And we can't paint a rosy picture other than we're better than we were in January. Slowly, we've gotten better than we were in January. We've got a wonderful fire department, we've got a police department, not as staffed as it could be or should be, but they do their job. They're out there. Officer Bailey has been incredible. And Chief has dealt with what he has. People have put on hats that didn't normally wear them hats. Clerk Barr stepped in and has been amazed at paperwork, old and new, and trying to deal with it. An audit comes up, all these types of deals. Everyone, and the mayor is, she's dealt with quite a bit, and she listens to it more than the rest of us do. She hears it, she reads it, she sees it. She's still here. Well, wait a minute. Well, she's here. And she'll be here the first meeting in January to lead us into the new year. And the last I'll say is Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to every one of you, and I'm glad you're here. I enjoy working with you. So
Merry
that's
Christmas
it.
to everyone.
Councilmember Wynn, we don't want to forget you.
Oh, well, you could, but I guess I would be remiss if I didn't also express my appreciation. It's all been said before, but thanks to all of you who made the tree lighting ceremony a success. Certainly couldn't have done it without the support of the chief and his volunteers and Michelle. I want to also thank Mayor Springer for her support. Couldn't have done it without her approval and excitement about it. And of course, Councilmember Spargo for his role as well. And then I guess I just want to conclude by thanking all of you. It's been great to work with you this year on the council and looking forward to working with you for the next 3 years. And that'll conclude my comment.
All right, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second.
And I don't think we need a vote. Meeting's over.
Adjourned at 7:50.